Pleasure as always to be joined by Alex Brink breaking down WSU Cougar football. Obviously, a tough one for the Cougs down in North Texas. Alex, we don't have to go blow by blow. Cougar fans know, what they saw, but from your vantage point, if there was one overarching problem that kind of set the Cougars back and let that game snowball into what was it to you?
I mean, I think there's no doubt it was the turnovers, right? Like you can't turn the ball over that much in that short a period of time and expect to win football games. And so, Coach Rogers touched on it, just a lack of execution. I think the silver lining is after a really the kind of that first series for the defense, I thought they really settled down. They actually played some good football. I mean, it's really hard to stop a team when you're trying to defend them inside of your own 20. But if you think about after that series, that first series, they got two or three stops in a row and kind of felt like they were giving the offense a chance. Offense couldn't execute. 8 minutes left in the second quarter. You're only down 14-3 and you turn the ball over twice. You got the ball. I think in that moment, that's where that team, if they could have shown the maturity to kind of weather that storm and get into half down just by possession. I think it's a significantly different ball game. So, really good learning lesson. We got to remember that this is a young team, 75 new players, whole new coaching staff, two new schemes, young quarterback. I mean, there's going to be moments, unfortunately, like what we experienced, and hopefully this team can learn from it.
Obviously, Jaxon Potter really struggles in his third career start, turns the ball over. In the spirit of Apple Cup week, I'll borrow something Steve Sarkisian said this week, talking about Arch Manning. You're not a quarterback until you get booed off the field. Obviously, that didn't happen to Jackson, but just what you know about quarterbacks and especially young quarterbacks, is this going to be a setback for him, confident the next time he's out there? Is kind of the ghosts of this game, down in Denton going to, stay with him? Or is this something that he's going to be able to flush quickly if he wants to retain his starting spot? We'll get into that in a minute as well.
I doubt it's something that he carries with him. Like, look, playing quarterback, that's part of the deal, right? Like the ball leaves our hand last. So we're ultimately responsible for all of our decision making. Talking to Jackson after that Idaho game when he got pulled for a few series and then came back in and led the team on a 2 minute drive, I think he's got a very neutral way of thinking, right? Like not too high, not too low. I think he's able to manage, the ups and downs really well. He's going to learn from those interceptions. I mean, those are three really good reps. I hate to say this, for fans out there, those are three really good reps to have on tape, right? First one, he's got an open receiver in his first read and he doesn't pull the trigger. And then that kind of leads to an issue when you're not protected. The second one tries to force a ball in there. Good one to learn from. And the third one, I think he just kind of predetermined where he wanted to go, didn't look off a linebacker and ends up with another one. I mean, those are all learning moments for a young quarterback. And we have to go through it. Like I've been there. I've been in it very, very intimately. And so I think, for Jaxon Potter, he's going to learn a lot. But whichever way it lands this week, he's got to stay in it as if he's the starter no matter what.
Getting into the quarterback battle in just a minute. We did finally see Zevi Eckhaus on the field, and I know it'll never be a one-to-one comparison, who's out there, the stage of the game, the play calling that is different in a tie game versus when you're down heavy. But just what did you see from Zevi in our first look at him on the field in 2025?
And things that, make him, the player he is, right? He used his legs a little bit, which was great. Quick decision making, showed good command of the offense, right? Saw a little bit of, he's very on time with how he plays. And, it's important based on his experience. And then, he missed a couple of big ones that I think he would probably like to have back. But in the end, I think that's kind of who Zevi Eckhaus can be. You just, if he gets his opportunity, he needs to be able to do it right when the bright lights are on and throughout 4 quarters of a football game.
Coach Rogers at his Monday press conference, basically saying that the starting spot for the quarterback position is up for grabs. Now, I don't think this was something that he did, just to say it. I don't think he was talking about it in terms of Jaxon Potter is outright benched and we're looking for somebody else. I think he was kind of being consistent with what he's said all year, that if you don't play well, your spot, isn't guaranteed to you. So, this would be an interesting week of practice to kind of be a fly on the wall or out there on the Rogers practice field. Just what do you expect? If you could put yourself into one of these three quarterbacks, because he also did mention that Julian Dugger is up for, a chance to maybe see the field as well in the Apple Cup. Just what do you think this week of practice is going to be like in that quarterback room leading up to obviously the big decision that Coach Rogers has to make?
Yeah, certainly there's a different level of intensity. And, I've been in quarterback battles. And the thing I think everybody needs to understand, whether you're in the room, outside of it, or however it works, is that everything matters. It's just not just every throw, right? It's not, if you throw an interception or if you throw more touchdowns, it's everything, right? It's how you command the offense. It's how, it's your decision making in the run game. It's, your play fakes. It's all of it. And because you have seen, and Coach Rogers touched on this on his Monday presser, was it's not just, it wasn't just decision making, I think, for Jaxon Potter as far as throwing the ball. Coach Rogers said there were times when in the run game, the quarterback's pulling the ball to throw it in an RPO when he should have handed it off. Like those are the same, that has the same level of importance. And I think that's the thing that they're really trying to find is it's not necessarily who can get the most completions, right? That's important, but who can operate the offense in every facet, because the way offensive football works is it's all cohesive. It all works together, right? So the pass game, the run game, the screen game, like all the things have to be working together. And when you're the quarterback, you're ultimately the guy that's making most of those decisions. And so, I think that's what they're searching for. And so in that vein, when you're in practice in a scenario like this, it all matters. Warm-ups matter. Like how you cool down matters. How you handle the huddle matters. How you talk to your other players. Like everything's going to matter for these guys, and they have to approach it as such.
All right, so we're doing things a little bit differently this week on our segment with Alex because the Apple Cup is such a big topic. We're actually going to split these up. This being the recap segment of North Texas. So keep looking on swxlocalsports.com, and we will have Alex talking all things Apple Cup. And if you want to hear more from Alex and Michael Bumpus, who better to talk to during Apple Cup week? You can check them out on Talking Cougs every week on Root Sports. So Alex, we'll take a break and we'll get back to talking Apple Cup here in just a minute.
Sounds great.